Happy Facebook Live Wednesday. Not sure how many of you guys are interested in knowing what I do. Why did I choose to be a parent coach, and why do you need one? Well, we are sanity savers. Are you losing your sanity? Are you wondering, why did I not get the parent manual to raise this child or children, right? Because guess what? Our kids are training us. They are training us to wake them up in the morning. They're training us to feed them, to clothe them, to do the things that they can do on their own. But for some reason, they know exactly what buttons to push, right? They know exactly what to say to get us so frustrated. And they realized how much power they have over us. And sometimes they're just as young as 2. And they know what to do, right? Think about it. So, as a parent coach, we are similar to what a coach is to his football players, what a trainer is to, say, a fighter. If you are in the ring and you don't have a trainer to help you, motivate you to get up when you're falling down and you think you're gonna lose because your eyes are running, you have blood running down your eyes, and you're wondering, I'm gonna lose this fight. Hey Sharon, thanks for joining. And a lot of times we wonder, why do I not know what to say, what to do, how to react, because I lose my temper. I am saying bad things to destroy my self-esteem, which causes guilt. And then we destroy the relationship with our child, whether they're in elementary school, in high school, even with our adult children. I've come across a lot of adult children, all of us, right? We grow up and we don't feel as close to our parents. We feel judged. We feel that we're not good enough. And we just don't feel like we're doing a good job as a human, as a mom, as a wife, as an employee. And that all stems from how our parents raised us. So, when you think about it, what do? Well, we provide compassion in a non-judgmental environment. We help with discipline. How do you discipline? Is what you're doing working? If it's not working, it's not like doing more of it will work. I've done this. I'm going to take your phone away for a week. And then they sass back, I'm going to take your phone away for 2 weeks. Or you take the video games away and all hell breaks loose, right? You're like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to discipline, and your child is rebelling. If you are encountering a power struggle, your discipline is not working. But behavior, if you study behavior modification, the behavior will get worse before it gets better. But if you destroy that emotional connection, then you have to re-strategize. And that's what parent coaches do, right? Think about a football game. I don't know anything about football, but if the team is losing, the coach will pull the players together, re-strategize, and change the play. Well, guess what? A parent coach will give you parenting tips, will create a system so that you are able to increase cooperation, decrease conflict, right? What you want to do is minimize. You can't prevent bad behavior, but you can minimize bad behavior and maximize your child's choices to want to cooperate, right? You want to choose words. You want to choose how you react, how you behave, because you're parenting, right? Change your parenting and change your child's thinking. When your child changes his thinking, it's like give a mouse a cookie. You know that book? If you give your mouse a cookie, he'll do this, he'll do that. Well, if you change the way you parent, it'll change the way your child thinks. When your child changes the way he thinks, it'll automatically change his behavior. I have a great testimony of a recent client of mine. I'm coaching her as well as tutoring her child, because I'm a tutor. I've been doing this for 27 years. as an educator, right? Parent coaching less than a year and a half, but when you think about it, I've been working with parents for the same amount of time as I've been teaching, right? But I was shocked that this sixth grader who punched holes in the wall, who verbally abused his mom. I mean, the mom has a hard time sleeping, has a hard time eating, has a hard time functioning. And after, I'm not saying that it's all me, because I think it has to do with changing the mindset, and you learn how to change your mindset, change the way that you interact with your child. Well, I was going to make him record. I was going to record his presentation because he didn't want to do it. The mom just texted me. He is presenting in front of all of his classmates, you know, virtually. And I was just shocked. And she's shocked. You know, he's been hugging her more. He's been cooperating. She is setting boundaries. I'm not saying, you know, just do everything your child wants. No, you have to set very clear boundaries so they know that you mean business when you give them a reasonable consequence tied into why. You know, she was saying to my student's brother, you know, the deal was you get C's or no video games. So he complained, but he did it. And he said, okay, I did my homework. Now I get to play video games, right? And she said, yeah. And she was just shocked at how easy it was. If you have the right strategies, parenting will not be stressful. I'm not saying that you're going to have bumps in the road. It is a roller coaster, right? But if you learn how to strategize, and this is the important part, how to modify your strategies, because your child is constantly evolving. And if you don't evolve and modify your parenting, it's not going to work because you need to change according to, you know, what's going on in his mind. Does he have certain worries? Does he have certain incentives that'll work for him? Maybe it won't be video games. Maybe it'll be, I've been talking to boys. I have two daughters, ages 18 and 24. Majority of my students are boys, so they are my guinea pigs. And I love learning how the male brain works, right? Will we ever understand? As a woman, will we ever understand the male brain? I'm not promising that, but I am letting you know what choices to make on our part to connect with communicating with a male brain, right? Whether they're 12 or they're 52, right? We all have brains that are individual, but there also are traits that females have and traits that males have, right? So a huge incentive for boys besides video games is getting to stay up later. You need a bedtime, right? Will they follow the bedtime? Well, you have no control over that, you know, but you can insist. And if you catch them in the act of staying up past your bedtime, consequences. Maybe the Wi-Fi gets turned off, right? Turning off Wi-Fi is pretty much turning off their oxygen supply. They will probably have a mental breakdown because they'll be like, wait a minute, this is not fair. You're going to hear that a lot. It is not fair. Well, guess what? Life is not fair. The struggles of parenting are not fair, right? What a child has to go through during the pandemic, adults too, but this distance learning, having to log on. If you're kinesthetic, you do not want to even show up physically. You're not going to want to show it virtually. So I digress. 3 things that my mission is, right? To increase cooperation, decrease conflict. And I wrote this down. Minimize bad behaviors. And then, of course, increase positive behavior, positive choices. So your child chooses better behaviors, right? And then last, my goal as a parent coach, and I think all coaches in general, right? We want to help you create a more positive family dynamic so that behaviors, everyone's behavior, not just the children. But if you have a significant other, I mean, if the dad's not on board, all you need is one person in your family, right? You ever had a really good day and then one person, it's almost like that one person pops the bubble. That one person, oftentimes it's your child, but it could be a stressed parent, right? You're all ready to implement, and then someone has a bad day, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and they're like, I don't think I want to have a good day. So they ruin your day. Well, that is why you learn to re-strategize, you modify, and you learn how not to allow your mind to control your mouth, control your reactions, and steal your peace. We don't want your peace stolen, right? When you're a parent, your peace gets stolen. Hey, John and Al, thanks for joining, guys. We are talking about how to maintain your parenting peace while working with a parent coach. Very few people see the value of a parent coach, right? They're like, why? I get hired by people who are struggling, but they will invest in their children's academics. They will, they want to make sure that they pass. They want to make sure that they do their work for school, right? But as a parent, do we invest in ourselves? We'll treat ourselves to Starbucks. We'll treat ourselves to, if you're a guy and you have a truck, you'll treat yourself to a lift kit. You'll treat yourself to a really good bottle of wine or some vodka, tequila, whatever it is. But are you investing in yourself? You know, when you change with the right strategies, your world will become so much more peaceful. You'll have less conflict. If you're on blood pressure meds, your blood pressure will be just lower because you'll learn the strategies and how to choose peace instead of lose your sanity. So when I thought about it, I think parent coaches we're sanity savers. I like that. Sanity savers, because we help you keep your sanity while raising your children. There's not a right way, but there's definitely things that we can do as a parent that will affect a child's thinking, right? Which will affect their behavior, which will affect the way they treat you and their teachers, the way they'll perceive boring schoolwork. This sixth grader who's doing his presentation, this is the kid who the mom did call the police several times because he became violent. And he didn't want another tutor. Parents are divorced. And dad is a tutor who does his work. Yes, the tutor does his work. And so he didn't want another tutor. And I said, that I'm here for him to be on his side. I'm here. I don't give grades. And I thought, I'm a parent tutor too. I'm a tutor to kids. I'm your tutor to help you reduce stress while you're raising your kids. I've had 25 years of experience. Give you my little resume. I've been an educator for about 27 years. You see me pop up doing my silly TikToks and Snapchats, and I'm trying to make parenting fun, but I know that it is a journey in hell sometimes, right? I just visited, I tutored someone, and the dad was like, ugh, such a sweet kid too, but I just can't get him out of bed. So I want to share how resourceful this dad is. It's called Clocky. Okay, if you have kids who have a hard time waking up in the morning, giving you this tip, go on the internet and search up CLOCK, spell clock with a Y. It looks like a little robot, but it's on wheels. Okay, so it turns like this, and it sounds like R2-D2, I swear. It will only turn off if this child stands up, and it will roll around the room, so the child has to get up to turn it off. You can only snooze it for 5 seconds. I'm thinking 5 seconds, but I guess you get 5 seconds, and then you have to get up, and you have to, hey Amos and Melissa, oh my gosh, we're talking about if you have kids who have a hard time getting up, no matter how old they are, they are training you to wake them up. No. And I did the same thing. I'm like, I want her to be late for school. Now that Chelsea works at times, I don't want her to be late. But you know what? We need to let go and let them be late. Or invest in Clocky. I'm not sure how much it is, but he turned it on. That thing is loud. And it looks pretty cool because it's a robot that actually rolls around the room, and it will not turn off until you stand up. You have to stand up. And then you have to chase it around and turn it off. So those are the kind of tips that coaches like us do. Think about it. If you are in the ring and you are fighting the match of your life, you want a trainer there to, tell you, you got this, even though you have blood streaming down your ear and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose this fight. But knowing that someone's in your corner will help you just have a little faith, right? Sometimes, and I feel the same way, it's like, I want to resign from parenting today. Well, unfortunately, we're stuck with them, right? I've had parents kick their kids out, but then you're filled with guilt. And then you have kids who say don't they say the worst things that just hurt you right here? And you feel like, if you're a mom, I gave birth to you. How can you be this evil devil when I gave birth to you and I raised you and I fed you and I clothed you and I gave you gifts on your birthday and on Christmas? And you wonder, right? Well, guess what? Sorry, someone's calling me. Ignore that. Our goal is not to please your child. Say that. Our goal is not to please your child. You know what? I can't believe this is alive and someone's calling me on my iPad, but just hold on 1 second. Don't go away. Oh, it's the darn landline. It's AmeriCare calling, whoever that is. So anyway, back to what I was saying. See, and isn't that what parenting is? You're in the middle of doing something, and then your child, do you get this? Mom, 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 or dad, dad, or grandma, grandma, and you just want to say, no, I'm not here, right? I'm not here. Unfortunately, we can't just hang up and say, leave me alone. You can, however, tell your child, I need a minute. I can't talk about this right now, and walk away. Do you know that you can do that? You can walk away. So, we want to create a peaceful environment. That's worth a lot. If you could wave a magic wand, create a positive family dynamic, and know what strategies to modify when they don't work, how much would that be worth to you? Would it be worth a couple of Starbucks? Would it be worth, plate lunch? Nowadays, plate lunches aren't very cheap, but would it be worth a plate lunch every day? I'm going to let that sit with you, okay? So, how do we save your sanity? I'm just going to give you just a few things that parent coaches do. Because you remember, baseball coaches, soccer coaches, football coaches, they are necessities, but this parent coaching has been around, but it's still a new concept. But do you want to learn how to practice compassion and how to have someone not judge you, never judge you? I don't judge students. I don't judge parents because we've all been there. How do you discipline? How do you motivate? How do you have that your child do distance learning and even log on? How do you make them log on? Do you need to make them log on? Do you need to do their homework? Do you need to take away video games? I'm going to let you know that mental health issues have risen. High suicide rates among elementary school kids, middle school kids. That is sad that they're opting for death rather than just handling the pain, right? We don't want to handle pain, but that's where parent coaches come in. Emotional pain is tough, right? Have you discussed or even formed core values for your family so your child knows? Integrity. Oh, so I can't cheat because integrity is instilled. For me, persevering no matter how hard it is. I mean, we were doing it's not really a staycation, but we had to stay at a hotel while we had our house fumigated. I still did my live. I still did my parenting tip. And, you need to teach certain values if you want your child to grow up with values. If you lose your temper with your child, we are teaching them to lose their temper, right? And that's a hard one. I've lost my temper more times than you can ever imagine, right? You want to learn how to implement self-care. If you are not caring for you, your child's not going to know that that's important. So if you find yourself stressed, more than likely you are not taking care of yourself, which means you are, your buttons are easily pushed because you don't have you don't have that patience. I have probably minimal patience. If I'm tired or hungry, I have zero patience. So I practice self-care. How do you practice self-care? Everyone needs it differently. And that's how a parent coach comes in, right? Emotional support. What else? Oh yeah, strategies, solutions. Because sometimes, and it's like with a football coach, right? He does plays. He makes sure that this player does this, and then it doesn't work. What do you have to do? Modify. My husband, Thomas Gibson, many of you know him, he used to modify and lift trucks. And he used to say there's no lift kit for a certain truck. So he would just create it and then modify it. Sometimes have to start from scratch. And I thought, how do you know what to do? And he goes, I just figure it out. You just figure it out. Wow. Seems so easy, right? But when you're in it, you can't really see it, right? You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. Does that make sense? So you need someone that has a very objective mindset who can see it. I have seen a lot of different family dynamics where there's abuse. Sometimes there's cutting involved. Sometimes, like if it's academics, right? Your child is failing. Your child is not showing up. Your child is beating you up either mentally, sometimes just physically, where you just don't know what to do. And you had to fight back, right? Never hit your child. That's just my personal opinion, because you are teaching them that violence is the way to solve power struggles. And you don't want them punching a cop or punching a cashier who doesn't have what they want. And I know the old school parenting is the lickings, right? Chelsea, actually during a Times training, someone talked about lickings, and she said, what is lickings? She never heard the word, but she got lickings, and just said, that spatula, that my girls will never buy a easy bake oven, but I got that spatula and I would hit everything but them. I would, break spatulas, and I would, threaten. And, threats are, they're abusing, it's like people abuse dogs, and we're just heartbroken. But when we shame our kids, when we, and I've done it a lot. It's like, you know what I do for you? And all I ask you to do is, I don't know, wash the dishes, clean your room. That's shaming. And I didn't think about it. I thought that was motivating, right? You remind your kid what you do for them. Well, guess what? Can you imagine if your boss said, you know how much I pay you? And you go, yeah, not enough. But in your boss's eyes, it's like, I pay you, so you need to fill in the blank. Plus, I'm going to add these other duties because I'm the boss, and you tell them, you do what I say or just leave. I will fire you if you don't do what I say. And your child, you're not saying you fire them, but you are withholding love and acceptance. So I've tutored kids, and they're like, you know what? I'm never good enough. Nothing I do will make my mom happy. And I said, what do you mean? Yeah, watch. I said, did you show your mom the A that you got? Even though it's not all about grades. Well, guess what? The dad comes and says, so who did you copy from? I was speechless. And she looked at me and said, see? Or just the things that we say without realizing it. And I don't know if it's the way that you are parented affects the way that you parent. And it makes sense, right? So as a parent coach, we rewire. Think of your brain just filled with all these neurons and these wires that need to be retrained so that you don't pass on the way that you parent. If you're proud of the way that you parent, great. If you're not satisfied with the results of your parenting style, then we need to rewire your brain so that you kind of train your child and rewire their mindset so that everyone has a healthier mindset, which will help them with everything. Navigating the pandemic, right? Overcoming challenges. I felt like I needed something to say to Chelsea when she was yelled at by the manager. She was yelled at by customers. She made mistakes, right? And at first I tried to fix it, and someone said, you know what, Karen, you don't need to fix it. Just say, sounds like you had a really hard day. You know, I really love you, and I'm here for you. And that's it. I thought, wow, all parents should know that. Suppose your child is 68 assignments behind. It does happen. You don't say, why did you not catch up? Why were you not responsible? Why are you lazy? Every time you say that, I'm going to let you know what you're doing. Your child is believing and will act the way that you think about them. Listen to that. What you think of your child is what your child will feel and how your child will behave. So for example, you're lazy. The child says, oh, I'm lazy. I have this one child, the 6th grader. We're talking about DNA and, genetics. And he goes, yeah, I got ADHD because my dad has ADHD and he's really bad at school. So I'm bad at school. So, wow, we have major rewiring to do. He's like, what? And I tell them, just because you have your family has diabetes does not mean that you will get it if you follow the lifestyle and the eating habits and the lack of exercise and you follow everything. Yeah, you'll get diabetes. I had someone who said, I'm not going to get high blood pressure. So he changed his eating habits, implemented exercise, changed his whole lifestyle. And now he's my age, 56, and hasn't been on blood pressure meds when every single family member is on meds, aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents. And that's when I realized, you know what? As a parent, we have the power, you guys. We have the power to really not just enhance your child's potential, but change the way they think, instill self-confidence, and know how to function when we are not there. You have the power to leave a legacy, and your legacy could be instilling core values. And some of the core values could just be having faith and persevere during trying times, not giving up, not feeling that you're a lost cause, which makes your child feel like they're a lost cause. No one wants to feel that they are not good enough. So it all starts with us. If we feel like we're not good enough, your child will feel like they're not good enough. If you feel that your child is lazy, your child will be lazy because they feel your thoughts, they feel your expectations, and so they'll know, because I'll tell my daughter, you know what, I know that, this big test is coming up. Did you study? Did you, and all this, I tutored her, and she goes, it doesn't sound like you believe in me, Mom. And I just stopped because part of me knew that it was true. When your child is missing school, when they're not doing their homework, when those grades pop up, you guys have Infinite Campus where there are grades that pop up on a regular basis. So you know what assignments are failed, you know what is missing, and how do you not judge that you have a kid who may not pass a class or who might, fail a grade or might not get the A. If you're one of the parents who say my child needs to get an A or a B, or you're penalizing your student, your child, you must get anything above a C. Then if they do get a C, they think they failed you. I had a child who said, I do not accept anything below a C. Right? Oh my gosh. They looked at me and they almost had tears in their eyes. And they asked me, can you talk to my parents and let them know what you said, that grades don't matter? And unfortunately, I have to say, unfortunately, I mean, a lot of parents don't believe what I share, but I want you to know that no matter, and this is hard, right? No matter what your parents say about you, no matter what your parents dictate, you are perfect the way that you are. And they don't believe it. So as a parent, I implore you, please learn to love your child exactly the way they are. Warts and all, bad grades and all. If your child, some people just are not, they don't do well with distance learning. I don't know how many of you guys are working virtually, but when you're in front of your laptop and you're a child and you're expected to log on, to attach documents, to record your answers, to take a photo of it, upload it, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And it's enough for kids to just give up. So that's my little thing for today, Facebook Live Wednesday. We are sanity savers. I'm not asking you to hire one, but I am going to promote my little thing. I just got the cover of my new book. It's called, as you all know, 100 Parenting Tips Inspired by the Pandemic. It is being, final edits are being done. I'll let you know when it's out. So if you want to support me on my journey of being a parent coach, and just thank you for showing up. I really, really appreciate all your support. And I invite you guys to be a part of my 5-day parent challenge. You do not have to show yourself. You do not have to, you just have to do these little things 5 consecutive days, show up, and I will let you know what the challenge of the day is. I mean, one day could be, don't criticize your child for just one day. Do 5 compliments. Hey, I like the way you have a sense of humor. Oh my gosh, I like the way that you folded your clothes. I like the way that you're eating so neatly. I like the way that you brushed your teeth today. Just little things. You'd be amazed at the little things that we say lights up our child's life. Little things, right? So thank you guys. That's what I do. Anyone who's wondering, what does a parent coach do, right? Top 3 things. I have it written, right? Increase cooperation, decrease conflict. Minimize bad behaviors, and then maximize your child choosing better behaviors. And of course, lastly, who does not want more positive, loving interactions so that we can have a less stressful, more peaceful family dynamic? I'm a sanity savior. I just said savior. Guess what? I'm a savior, and I'm someone who can save you years of insanity. Thanks. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Bye.